there's a huge manure lagoon right behind the swine center, and there's no such thing as a lagoon that doesn't leak. And so that is going into Oak Creek. We're out here to hold vigil for the animals killed at this slaughterhouse, and also protest the larger system of animal agriculture of which Oregon State takes part. Oregon State has a really rigorous rangeland and animal science program, and they have programs like Steer a Year, in which students raise calves for a year and a half until they become steers, in which they get practice slaughtering them. The natural lifespan of a male cow, a steer, is it could be up to 20 years, and they're killing them at 1 to 1.5 years. And so they're still babies. And same with the pigs raised at the swine center. Students just get practice raising these animals with the sole purpose of killing them. Eating and raising animals for food is not a part of a viable future for our planet. And so universities shouldn't be teaching students how to kill or how to become the next generation of overseers at factory farms.
I'm interested in enlarging the circle of compassion. Sojourner Truth was an abolitionist in the South, and she was the first woman to make the connection between racism and sexism. And I'm trying to make the connection between racism, sexism, and speciesism, and that we're all connected, we're all kin, we're all brothers and sisters, and therefore we all deserve the same respect, especially the right of freedom, of liberty.
I'm here to speak up for the animals because animals that we eat, they have a brain and a central nervous system, and they feel pain and they suffer like we do. They have only one life and they want to live. We have no right to harm anyone because of how they're different from us.
I'm Jackie, and my sign is referring to the fact that we have a lot of other options, especially at a research university, to actually not exploit animals. There's a lot of research being done across the country and across the world for cultured meat and different plant type meats that don't require animal abuse and animal cruelty. So this is encouraging OSU to use their resource in a better way and to stop exploiting the animals.
My name is Bjorn Christensen. I'm a doctoral student in philosophy and environmental studies at University of Oregon. I'm out here raising awareness, letting people know that there is actually a slaughterhouse on campus here at Oregon State University. A lot of people don't realize that. It goes very much against most people's values. In addition to going against the university's stance on sustainability, we have hog farms, we have dairy farms. This is a system which really funnels people into the industrial animal agricultural complex, and it's a worldwide problem. I would say the entire modern society itself is built upon the exploitation and commodification of non-human animals and the reduction of those animals to pure biological objects. We put them in a completely unnatural environment for their kind of being. We control every aspect of their life. The very moment that they are born, their deaths are planned out. So just imagine that. Just imagine living within that kind of system and being what Joanne MacArthur calls a ghost within the machine.
Cattle grazing is destroying our watersheds. OSU is going to tell you that they're teaching the best grazing practices. There is no best grazing practices because livestock are invasive. There is no such thing as a rangeland. They're just grasslands that have been destroyed for the profit of ranchers.
Why do you think this entire side of town smells like shit?
Yeah, that's what my
seriously,
sign says.
I have friends that live over here. Every time they walk out of their house, all they smell is shit because of this whole operation over here.
In the summer, they spray the manure on the fields with sprinklers. And there's 2 open air lagoons. There's one at the dairy farm and one at the swine center.
Anytime you walk down that path, the swine farm, it absolutely reeks. And different times of the day, it's worse, obviously. The average person you talk to and say, did you know that we have a slaughterhouse on campus? They don't know that. Average student on campus probably doesn't think that's a great thing. That's probably not in line with most of their values. And again, it's certainly not in line with the sustainability position of the university either.
46 million turkeys are killed each year for Thanksgiving.
That's like a cognitive dissonance in action. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, they aren't slaughtering any turkeys. They're frozen from Walmart. So, and there aren't any open air lagoons.
They definitely kill pigs here.
A sad part of the job.
Do you have the phone number?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. You're with the barometer?
I'm the daily barometer. That's
yeah, cool.
school
Okay.
paper here.
Awesome. I'd be glad to talk about it more. There are sheep killed here too, right? Correct. There are
Not
sheep
very
killed.
many. 1 or 2 lambs is usually slaughtered for class purposes, so they
Okay,
can see
yeah.
how to break down a lamb.
Yeah.
But the building right over here, these sheep are used for reproduction research.
What kind of reproductive research are they doing with them? Because I know there was a researcher here. I don't know if he's still here, but he was doing like researching homosexuality in sheep,
Yeah.
right? Like I was like, what? Like I was like, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
You know, like what are you even doing to these animals? Like I don't want to know. You know, it sounds pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Because they were trying to determine from a farm standing, if you have a ram not interested in your ewes, the whole project's shot. I mean, you got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's a big problem for producers.
I guess that shows the like kind of idea that like they can't be themselves, you know, because they're just reduced to like monetary value and objects.
OSU's got a lot of rules about what they can do research-wise. And
oh yeah, of course. But it's all the thing is that all those rules are oriented within a system of commodification. Obviously, regardless of how well they're treated throughout their life, they're still ultimately killed before they would have died naturally. This world is completely filled with suffering. I mean, it's a horrific place for so many people, for so many animals, even outside of that. So why would we add to that if we don't need to? We all used to eat the stuff too, you know, it's just, and I realized like my grandfather owned a dairy farm. Like I'm from the Midwest. Like I grew up in like dairy country. Like, you know, like most people that I grew up with hunted, you know, that kind of, it's just, when you realize that there's enough suffering in the world as it is, why would we add more? You know, why would we bring an animal into the world just to kill them, you know, for something that we don't need to do? You know, we could just eat something else.
I have a different question for you,
Yeah.
kind of related, but also
Sure.
not. So, if everyone kind of collectively as a group decided to move away from meat, how would you control like population and not having populations of wild cows explode or wild?
Well, you do realize like we don't actually have wild cows. Like we breed them
If we quit, then there would be. How would
on one hand there's a worldwide movement of sanctuaries that are taking in animals from facilities like that. But on the other hand, it's not going to happen overnight. I don't think anybody thinks that it's going to happen overnight. It's going to be a gradual process, just like, you know, we gradually went from horse-drawn carriages to cars, right? Like that wasn't an overnight process. But now, you know, we don't have horses taking over the world because of that, right? They're not animals that would exist without human interference. In fact, like the whole process of domesticating them has been all about controlling their entire bodies, their entire life, you know? So, yeah, they wouldn't be capable of existing in the wild anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate you guys coming out and talking to us and being kind and open.
We're not all the guy with the steak in front of the camera. I promise. We do care about you and the animals. You ready?
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Yeah, that's the same thing as the field mice argument. Like, you know, we can't avoid killing, or I mean, it's not the same. It's about as absurd. Like, we can't avoid killing all animals in the production of food, so therefore we should purposely kill more animals. You know, and it's like, oh, you know, what's going to happen if we stop eating animals overnight as an entire world, which would never happen. You know,
The population wouldn't be exploding like that because we would be forcing them to keep being bred.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It would balance itself out immediately.
The average life cycle of a lot of these animals is like, I mean, they're infants, you know, or not infants, but they're babies. Like they're killed when, like chickens are killed when they're like 46 days old, you know, like that's unreal to think. Most people don't even realize that.